You were secretly cheating on Mr. Muhammad and had sex with the other man almost every day of the month. And there is no way Mr. Muhammad is Brooklyn's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you also were having sex with the other guy during that time as well.
But I was more sexual, Mr. Mosley.
You were having more sex with him.
Yeah.
But you do understand it only takes once.
Right.
All right.
But them two, they perfect for each other, because they both liars.
Yes.
They both liars.
Yes.
They perfect for it.
First up on our list, we've got Mr. Anwar Muhammad and Miss Nasheda Walton duking it out in paternity court over the cutie pie that is 2-year-old Brooklyn. On one side, we have Anwar, who's convinced Brooklyn is his mini-me. But Nasheda, wanting to cozy up with another contender, is giving him the big nope. She's adamant that Anwar's not the dad, dropping the bombshell that she was playing the field almost every day of the month when Brooklyn was conceived.
Ms. Walton, you say you were secretly cheating on Mr. Muhammad and had sex with the other man almost every day of the month. And there is no way Mr. Muhammad is Brooklyn's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
If Anwar's accusations are true, it means one thing: Nasheda is so focused on her own needs that she's willing to deny her daughter the chance to know her real father. But before we jump to conclusions, let's dive into Nasheda's side of the drama. She claims Anwar was the first to break their trust by cheating on her, and in a bid for revenge, she decided to have her own fling. Anwar, on the other hand, swears up and down that he was as loyal as a golden retriever and had no idea about her affair because she introduced her side piece as her cousin.
I wasn't having no affair. We was together. She told me that this gentleman was her cousin. I didn't think nothing of it.
She told you the other guy was her cousin?
Was her cousin.
Now that's some soap opera level betrayal. And what makes it even crazier is the fact that they also have a 4-year-old together. But even with a kid that young, Nasheda somehow managed to sneak off to a hotel to get down with the other dude while she was supposed to be at work, all while still being intimate with Anwar.
She's cheating, Your Honor. While she thinks she at work, she's cheating.
Were you still intimate with Mr. Muhammad during that time as well?
Yes, I was.
All right.
Wow.
So you were sleeping with them both?
See,
Yes,
both.
ma'am.
After a while of playing both sides, Anwar finally found out about Nasheda's antics after finding some really sneaky text messages between her and the guy that was supposed to be her cousin. Anyway, when Anwar found out Nasheda was pregnant, he held on to high hopes that the baby was his, especially since they were still being intimate. He even claims he's 100% certain about the date of conception because, according to him, it happened in his mother's bathroom, specifically on her sink. Now that's a detail you don't forget.
I know the date. The date was February 21st in my mama's house, in the bathroom. We was in the mood. She was in the mood. She go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom after. That's the date that we have, Brooklyn.
Do you remember this date, Ms.
On the
Walton?
sink.
Nasheda, however, continues to hold on to her claim that he isn't the father because even if she was intimate with Anwar on the said date, she was also intimate with the other guy. And if we're being honest, that puts it to 50-50. I mean, it's not rocket science. If she was intimate with both men during the window of conception. Well, Nasheda didn't think so for some reason. She completely dismissed any possibility that the child could be Anwar's. Instead, she was banking on the baby being the other guy's. But here's the kicker. As soon as she broke the news of her pregnancy to him, he vanished into thin air. Turns out he was married, and the prospect of a love child was not on his agenda.
So do you want to be with this other man too?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now it makes sense.
Now, that's what she wants. She trying to make that baby belong to this man. That I don't even know this man.
Have you started that relationship?
No.
Ain't gonna work.
No.
Ain't gonna
Well,
work.
why?
He's married, for number one.
Your Honor.
After hearing enough from both sides, Judge Lauren finally calls the results to settle it all.
2-year-old Brooklyn Muhammad. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Muhammad, you are the father.
Yes. I told you. I know what I'm talking about, baby. I know what I'm talking about.
Next on our list, Shanita Humphries has dragged her sneaky link, James Mosley, to court, claiming he's the father of her 2-month-old son, conceived during a brief break from his girlfriend. James, however, is quick to deny paternity, suggesting Shanita should redirect her accusations towards her ex-boyfriend instead. He's desperately hoping the paternity test will clear his name, as this baby drama is wreaking havoc on his love life and turning his family into a reality show.
Mr. Mosley, you say she's going after the wrong man and that she should be pointing her paternity finger at her ex-boyfriend, Mr. Cook, because he's the baby's father.
Yes, Your Honor. Me and Ms. Robinson been together for a minute, had rocky ups and downs in our relationship. If this is our child, then, you know, she gonna leave me, and I don't want her to leave me.
From the get-go, James admits to hooking up with Shanita but swears it wasn't during the baby-making window. Shanita, on the other hand, says otherwise, claiming they were definitely together when she conceived. But here's the kicker, she was also seeing another guy around that time. With that detail out, it's pretty difficult to just guess who the baby daddy really is, since she was intimate with both men around the same time. But for some reason, Shanita is convinced James is.
But you also were having sex with the other guy during that time as
Yes.
well. Do you consider him as a potential father as well?
I mean, he could be, but I was more sexual, Mr. Mosley.
You were having more sex with him?
Yeah.
But you do understand it only takes once?
Right.
All right.
One reason James seems so sure the baby isn't his is because he has 2 other kids with his girlfriend, and they're both spitting images of him. Meanwhile, baby Tyler looks nothing like James. To top it off, James blames his girlfriend for the whole mess, claiming none of this would be happening if she hadn't left him in the first place.
At the same time, well, all I can say is this: I feel like it's her fault too, Your Honor. She should never broke up with me. If she never broke up with me, I would never did what I did.
Also, it's Miss Robinson's fault.
With that, Judge Lauren calls James's girlfriend, Tamika, to the stand. Tamika confirms she broke up with James for the same reason they're in court today, his track record of messing around with women. But of all his flings, Shanita was the only one who actually reached out to her, turning an already messy situation into a full-blown soap opera.
He left me a message on Facebook. Tell my lying baby daddy, oh, he can see this with your lying behind.
Yeah.
So you on my page. I didn't
Yes.
contact you. So
Girl,
you've been saying
yes,
for
you
all
do.
this time that this is his child. So me and him are bickering because of this. You brought me into this. I had nothing to do with what y'all had going on.
if
But you kept involving yourself. Why?
How does
Ladies.
she know when I'm still?
Ladies.
And as if things weren't messy enough, Tamika drops another bombshell. Turns out Shanita confessed on Facebook that James isn't the father of her child. Tamika even brought the receipts to prove it. But according to Shanita, she only did that because she wanted Tamika out of her business.
This sent me, Your Honor.
Mr.
She
Mom.
just sent me a week ago on Facebook that James is not the father. Called me out
Because
my
you
name.
keep doing this.
Let me
Stop
see
doing
that, Jerome.
this. Stop trying to be all up in my business.
You put me
Tyler
in that
don't belong to you.
on that.
And if that wasn't enough, Tamika reveals that Shanita has been bragging on Facebook about still being intimate with James. James doesn't deny it, but he's not interested in taking responsibility for any of it. After listening to their endless back and forth, Judge Lauren finally calls in the other guy, Nathaniel Cook. The moment Nathaniel steps in, he admits he's not sure if he's Tyler's father, though he'd love to be, because from where he stands, it looks like both Shanita and James are liars.
To tell you the truth, I do not know. I would love to be his father, but them two, they perfect for each other, because they both liars.
Yes.
They both liars.
Yes.
They perfect for each
To top it off, Shanita also tells Nathaniel that he is Tyler's father. As a result, he made it his duty to be in the child's life, even after losing his dad. However, that all changed after he found a video of James and Shanita doing the do on her phone. But instead of taking responsibility and admitting that she was wrong, she simply said she could do whatever she wanted.
Your father, you're saying Miss Humphreys wasn't there to support you, but you're there to support
All the
her
time.
and Tyler.
all the time. With every bone in my body. I just had Tyler the weekend before we got here, Your Honor.
Because I had to threaten you.
You don't even know if I'm his daddy for real.
No.
You just sat here and told this man that he's the daddy.
After hearing enough, Judge Lauren finally calls for the results.
It has been determined by this court. His biological father is Mr. Cook.
In another wild courtroom showdown, Stephen Baker and Jeanine Woods are battle it out to determine the paternity of her child. Stephen, initially over the moon about becoming a dad with the woman of his dreams, quickly plummeted back to earth when he discovered she was playing footsie with his best friend. Jeanine, proudly declaring herself a cougar, admits to getting cozy with Stephen's buddy but can't quite pinpoint who fathered her 12th child. Talk about a prolific mother.
Now, Ms. Woods, you are a self-proclaimed, and you say you never imagined you would be giving birth to your 12th child at the age of 43. You admit you did indeed have sex with Mr. Baker's best friend, and so now you're not sure which man fathered your 2-year-old daughter.
As the laughter echoes through the courtroom, it's clear this paternity case is more tangled than a plate of spaghetti at a family reunion. According to Stephen, he was head over heels the moment he met Jeanine, especially drawn to her mindset and personality. But right now, he feels the literal opposite.
I really was intrigued by her energy. She's like the life of the party, but her mind is what captured my heart. But after finding out all the stuff that she did, I look at her like a dirty dish rag trying to wash clean dishes.
Ouch. 8. At first, Stephen was beyond excited about becoming a dad. He was there every step of the way, massaging Jeanine's back, her feet, cleaning, and even stepping up in the kitchen. He took the whole expectant father thing seriously. However, 8 months into the pregnancy, his world came crashing down with a phone call from his cousin. It turns out Steven's best friend, Jimmy, confessed that he and Jeanine had been more than just friends.
Pregnancy, I get a phone call from my cousin. Say she got something to tell me, but she didn't know how to tell me because it was gonna hurt my feelings. I'm like, go ahead, just tell me what's good. Guess what she tell me?
What?
She had a conversation with Jimmy, and that Jimmy admitted to her that she slept with Jeanine.
Mr. Dudley.
Yes.
After confronting Jeanine about it, she didn't even try to deny it. She not only admitted to getting down and dirty with Jimmy, but also dropped the bombshell that she wasn't sure if Steven was the father.
She admitted that she slept with Jimmy. And guess what? She also admitted that she don't know if the baby is mine.
What in the world?
Right after finding out about Jeanine's escapades, Steven hit the pause button on the whole supportive partner thing. He didn't show up at the hospital or even bother to sign the birth certificate. Looks like Steven's taking a timeout from the dad game until he can figure out what's what. Can't say I blame him for needing a breather after that bombshell.
Let me object to that because this man went with me to the hospital for 9 months. This man showed up, went with me to the hospital, okay? A week before it was time to give birth to Trinity, this man did not show up in the hospital.
Of course not.
Look at this here. He's not on a birth certificate, okay?
After hearing both sides, Judge Lauren finally calls in the ex-best friend, Jimmy. But before he even speaks, Jeanine begins throwing shades.
She doesn't truly know who Trinity's father is. What do you have to add to this?
Yana, he ain't got nothing to add to it. You know why? Because he only lasts 1 minute, so
Let him speak.
As Jimmy begins to speak, tensions escalate and a heated argument erupts between her and Steven. You can practically feel the waves of hurt radiating from Steven. I mean, this guy and Jimmy were friends for a solid decade, and to find out that betrayal wasn't a one-time thing, ouch. It's like adding insults to injury, and the courtroom drama just keeps getting more intense by the minute.
Me though, bruh. When was you gonna let me know? 15 years later? 18, 20 years later? What if this your child, bruh? And you got me out here trying to take care of this child?
1 minute.
We gotta do what we gotta do, bro. But I mean, you gotta fix this, bro. But
Bro,
I know
bro,
you
you
just
a
like
dumpster to me,
oh
bro.
for years, man.
You
We
a
gotta fix
dumpster
this,
and you
bro.
trash, and the trash belong in a dumpster.
Before the results come in, Steve makes it clear that he'll be there for his Trinity and even make up for the lost years if she is in fact his daughter. But if she isn't, he's going to write both Jeanine and Jimmy off like check. With that, Judge Lurin calls for the results.
Mr. Dudley, you are not her father.
Ooh, chew on that.
Mr. Baker,
I take full responsibility.
you are not her father.
And last but not least, we've got the case between Jason Deggs and Truth Guerin. Jason has dragged his ex, Megan, to paternity court, hoping to uncover the truth about his alleged son, Jason. Initially, Megan made Jason believe he was the father of Jason, who is now 3 years old. However, when Jason turned 6 months old, she dropped the bombshell that he might not be the father. Even though Jason desperately hopes he is Jason's dad, he needs to know the truth. Megan, on the other hand, admits to cheating on Jason but claims it only happened after he strayed. She's also unsure who the father is and is just as desperate for today's results.
Mr. Deggs, you are here today hoping you are the biological father of the defendant's 3-year-old son, Jason. You have petitioned the court for paternity tests because you claim your ex, Ms. Guerin, first led you to believe that you were Jason's dad, but when the baby was 6 months old, she confessed that you may not be the biological father.
According to Jason, he found out Megan had cheated on him in the most gut-wrenching way. While he was moving out of his best friend's apartment, he went upstairs to grab his last few things. That's when his best friend pulled him aside and dropped the bombshell. Not only had he had a fling with Megan, but so had Jason's brother. Talk about a double whammy. No wonder Jason's in court, desperate for the truth about little Jason's paternity.
At the time, we were moving out of my best friend's apartment, and it was just about that I got the truck loaded up with everything. And I went upstairs to grab my last box, and my best friend at the time pulled me aside and told me him and my brother had both slept with Megan.
What?
And the worst part? Megan had the nerve to defend her actions by saying Jason had cheated on her earlier in their relationship. She even claimed she slept with his best friend because Jason was always out working, to provide for her, by the way, leaving her feeling neglected. With his best friend conveniently available, she decided to get down with him.
Well, we were drinking and he was showing interest in me, made me feel pretty, and was giving me everything at the time that Jason was not.
Sometime later, she also hooked up with his brother for the same reason. After discovering Megan's cheating ways, Jason still decided to give their relationship another chance. But instead of mending their bond, she went out and cheated on him again. Shortly after that, she felt pregnant and assured Jason that it was his child. As always, he believed her and supported both her and the child in every way possible. Despite the heartbreak, Jason stayed committed, only to end up in court seeking the truth about little Jason's paternity.
I cut the cord. I've been there since day one, taking care of this baby and this woman. Day one, Your Honor, I was there. And then she has the nerve to wait.
After 6 months of devotedly taking care of Jason, Jason's world was shattered during an argument when Megan finally confessed that he might not be the father. That was a pretty low blow, leaving Jason reeling and desperate for answers. And that's exactly what Judge Lauren gave him.
Mr. Deggs, you are not the father.
And that's for the best. Honestly, it's for the best.
But to make matters worse, Megan was so unbothered that she began to talk smack so bad that she got kicked out of the courtroom.
Listen, you know what? It is rare that I have to do this, but I can't even look at you no more. Jerome, escort her out. Please. I'm done with it.